Dee is an orphan girl, faced with the heavy responsibility of saving her brother's life. He is battling a rare blood disease, and the surgery would cost 80 million naira, an amount far too massive for a girl who can't even afford to make her own hair. Then comes a national coding competition. Dee loves to code. It's her passion, her escape. But the opportunity? It's an all-boys competition. She takes the bull by the horn, choosing to disguise herself for a chance to fight the only way she knows how to and save her brother's life. Will she be able to pull through? Will she be caught? Will the pressure break her before the finals? Or will she rise and rewrite her own story? Watch to find out how Dee's journey unfolds. In one corner of their sunny compound, young Adaeze squatted beside a broken radio. Her fingers dirty with grease, her eyes sparkled with curiosity as she twisted wires and pushed loose parts back in. Behind her, her father and brother laughed as they played, carefree and happy in the warm afternoon. When her father finally noticed her quietly walking, he walked over with a proud smile. "Ah, Adam," he said, half teasing, half proud. "If only you were a boy, the world would have bowed at your feet." The living room was small, but it was full of a kind of warmth money couldn't buy. 17-year-old Adaeze, fondly called Dee, sat hunched over her old laptop. The screen lit up her focused face as she typed quickly, lines of code running down the screen like a river of thoughts and dreams. Then it happened. A flicker, a flash, and a small animation popped up. Her eyes went wide. "It worked!" she gasped. "It finally worked!" She jumped up, holding the laptop like a prize, and ran to the kitchen. There, her older brother Chima sat at the counter, a mug of tea in his hands. The sickness had taken a toll. He looked tired, his skin pale, but his eyes were still warm. "Brother," she grinned, "look, I finished it. It worked." She turned the laptop to show him the bright logo on the screen. Chima smiled with pride. "Wow, Dee, this is amazing." He gave her a gentle pat. If Daddy were here, he would be shouting it from the rooftops. The moment between them was sweet, but then Chima placed his mug down slowly. "Dee," he said in a serious, caring voice, I love what you're doing. I love how happy coding makes you feel. But we have to face reality." He paused for a moment. "Please, try to find a proper job. You spend half the whole day on your laptop coding something. Look, find a job. Don't just spend your time building things that you might never use." For a second, her joy dimmed. But just as fast, she came alive again. Her eyes lit up, hands moving as she spoke. "Brother, I just love building things," she said, full of passion. "Imagine an app that helps lost kids find their parents with just a button. Or something that helps farmers sell directly, not greedy middlemen." Chima, imagine it. She was glowing, not from the screen now, but from inside. Coding feels like magic. It makes me feel alive from inside. You start with an empty screen, then an idea, and suddenly it's real. It's like building a world with your own hands. Chima watched her, his smile full of both pride and worry, like someone who once dreamed too. Her voice softened. "It may not bring money now, but it brings me to life. And I believe that one day it will work." Chima chuckled, ruffling her hair. "You're just too stubborn, just like Mama." Then more seriously he said, "But promise me you'll still take care of yourself." She gave a playful salute. Yes, sir. Their laughter filled the room, warm and gentle. A quiet hope that maybe dreams do come true. The hospital room buzzed with machines and cold white lights. The smell of medicine hung in the air. Chima lay on the bed, his skin pale, his body thin. Breathing looked hard. Dee sat beside him, holding his hand tightly. Her laptop bag, old and patched, lay quietly under the chair, like a reminder of dreams waiting outside this room. "You'll be fine, brother," she whispered, brushing his hair. "I'm right here, okay?" Chima tried to smile, but the pain showed. I don't feel okay, Dee," he said. Dee quickly shook her head, squeezing his hand tighter. "No," she said gently. "Save your strength. Don't say that." Her voice broke. "No matter what the test says, I am not leaving. I am never leaving your side." The door opened quietly. A doctor walked in, tall, tired looking, holding a file. His calm voice filled the room. "Good afternoon," he said. He looked at them both, then spoke again. "We've completed the test." He paused. "It's serious. A rare blood disease. It can be treated, but it will take time. And it will cost a lot." Dee's shoulders tightened. Her chest moved slowly as she tried to understand his words. Chima closed his eyes. "We need to start now," the doctor said softly. "It's the best chance we've got." He placed the file down and left. For a moment, no one spoke. A single tear rolled down Chima's cheek. One ran down Dee's, but she quickly wiped it away. "I don't know how we will do it," she whispered, shaking. "But we will. Every single treatment you need, you will get it." She leaned closer, holding him tightly. "I swear, Chima, I swear." Chima couldn't speak. He didn't need to. The sun dropped lower in the sky, casting long shadows over the fading sign, Okeke and Sons Legal Chambers. The building looked old and tired, like it had been waiting for years. Inside, the lawyer's office was filled with old papers, faded certificates, and dusty books. The air smelled of ink and age. Behind a messy desk was Mr. Okeke, his big belly pushed against his shirt as he slowly flipped through a file. Across from him sat Dee, upright, strong but nervous. Her backpack rested by her feet, zipped tight. "Your father was a good man," Mr. Okeke said. "One of my best clients." He leaned back. "He told me once that if anything happens to him, that I should look after his children." Dee nodded. "That's why I'm here. My brother is very sick. We are hoping maybe there is something left. Land, shares, anything." Mr. Okeke closed the file gently and looked at her. "I'm sorry, Daisy," he said. "There is nothing left." Dee froze. "What?" "After your father passed, things went bad. There were debts, failed projects. The house," he paused for a moment, "it was used as a loan. The bank owns it now." Dee stared at him, her heart breaking. "But he promised," she said. "He said we would be okay. He said he trusted you." Mr. Okeke's voice turned cold. "I did what I could. Life moves fast, Daisy. You're a smart girl. It's time you start your own path. Do something." She stood slowly, anger and hurt weighing her down. "You're lying," she said, her eyes sharp. "Watch your tone," he warned. But Dee didn't back down. "I will find out the truth," she said, "with or without you." She picked up her bag and walked out. The door shut behind her. Mr. Okeke sat in silence. Then slowly he looked at the file again. Inside it, almost forgotten, was a sealed envelope. Her father's name was written on it. He stared at it but didn't move. Inside her bedroom, it was dark, lit only by a weak bulb. Daisy sat on the floor, her nails pulled close, her back against the wall. Her laptop lay shut beside her like a puppy sharing in her pain. She stared into the space, her eyes full of grief and sadness. She wondered to herself, Daddy wouldn't lie to me. He wouldn't lie to us. If Daddy had debt, we would know. He always told us things like this, especially to Chima. He wouldn't lie to Chima. He wouldn't hide it from Chima. She pulled out a business card from her pocket, Mr. Okeke's business card. Her fingers shook as she looked at it. I don't know how, Mr. Okeke, but I know you are lying. My instinct tells me you are lying. I know my daddy for sure. He will not leave us high and dry. I may not have the power to fight you now, but I know I will definitely do something. She let out a heavy sigh. I can't even do anything now that Chima's body is breaking. Her phone buzzed. Then she opened Instagram and began scrolling without thinking. Then something caught her eyes. National Code Arena, 100 million grand prize. Nigeria's biggest all-boys coding showdown. She read it aloud. All-boys coding showdown? Like we girls can't build anything, huh? She tossed the phone aside angrily and then began thinking about her brother and the situation at hand. Inside the doctor's office, Dee sat alone. Chima wasn't there. The doctor looked tired, but his face was serious. We've been able to stabilize him, he said. From the financial help of the hospital foundation. Dee's eyes lit up. Thank you, she said wholeheartedly. She was about cheering when the doctor interrupted her. But it won't last, he said. He still needs the surgery. Dee asked softly. How long do we have then? The doctor replied her, a month or thereabouts. After that, real treatment has to begin, or we lose him. Dee didn't cry. She just nodded. How much? She asked. 80 million naira, the doctor replied. Outside, the sun was too bright for the news she carried. It burned on her skin as if the sky itself didn't care that her brother could die. Dee walked slowly past the rust-stained gates of the hospital, her fingers coiled into a fist inside her pocket. The world moved normally. Cars honking, women arguing over tomatoes and vegetables, someone laughing too loud nearby. But inside her, there was nothing normal. Her mind was a loud spinning room. 80 million naira? It kept echoing like someone had shouted it into a cave. She blinked fast. Her legs moved on their own, not sure where they were going, just needing to move. Somewhere in the noise of her thoughts, she saw her father's face. Calm, calculated. If it were him, he'd probably already have a plan. He always had a way of gathering people, calling in debts, stirring favor like a pot of soup. But he wasn't here. She was, and she had no one to call. The helplessness burned sharper than the heat. She hated it. Hated that she couldn't do anything. Hated that her elder brother was lying in a bed hooked to machines because life had decided to be cruel. And Mr. Okeke, her jaw tightened. A part of her told her not to go there. Not now, Dee. But her guts was loud. How could it be said that a dad who played Monopoly with his kids and lived by its rules would end up owing to the teeth? Unbelievable. She remembered clear as day the living room floor, a lush carpet, and their father's excited voice as he spread out the Monopoly board between them. Dee and her brother barely knew the rules back then, but their father was full of lessons. Always buy the railroads, Dee. People don't think of them, but they are consistent. Don't waste your cash, Chima. Save it, then use it to buy properties that bring in more. Look, never go broke trying to impress the banker. She had rolled her eyes at the time, her brother too. But now, the irony made her sick. If their father lived by those rules, how was there nothing left? She turned into a quieter street, needing space from the noise of it all. Her eyes brushed lazily against a wall plastered with posters and announcements. One in particular caught her attention. National Code Arena, 100 million naira grand prize, Nigeria's biggest all-boys coding showdown. Dee stopped just for a second, not because she was surprised. She already knew about it. Everyone in the community tech circles had heard. Boys only, loud sponsors, big stage, bigger cameras, no girls allowed, no matter how brilliant. She exhaled, long and slow. Why is it always boys? She muttered. But her voice lacked fire. There was no fight in it. Not now. Not when her brother's life was on a ticking clock. So she turned and walked on. The poster flapped behind her in the breeze. Bright, hopeful, promising. But Dee didn't look back. Her feet were heavy, her heart heavier, and the sun still too bright for the weight she carried. Inside the bedroom, the mirror was cracked. Dee stood at the sink, staring at herself, her hoodie up, her jaw clenched, eyes tired but sharp. Her eyes looked older today, not from age, but from the weight pressing on her, a kind of growing up that grief and desperation forced into people. 100 million naira. It echoed again in her mind, relentless. The same amount standing between her brother and death. She pulled the hoodie tighter around her head, letting the edge shadow her face. If it's wearing for the slight curve of her jaw or the soft line of her lips, she could almost pass. She could almost disappear into a crowd of boys. Her fingers brushed against the sides of her head. The hair had grown fuller these past few months. She'd been too tired to take care of it, too broke to even go to the salon. It framed her face like a question she hadn't answered yet. If only boys can join, she said, her voice barely audible, like a secret she wasn't sure she could tell herself. Her gaze dropped to the rusted scissors sitting on the bathroom shelf. She hesitated. This was stupid. This is crazy. She should be thinking of hospitals, loans, anything but this. But nothing had worked. No one was even picking her calls. No one was helping. She reached for the scissors. The metal was cold even through her trembling hands. This isn't cheating, she whispered. She looked at herself again, not for approval, not even for permission, just to see, just to know the face of the girl who was about to disappear, who was about to fight in the only way she had left. It's survival, she breathed in. Then, snip, a lock of hair fell into the sink. and with it, a part of the girl she used to be. The girl who waited for permission, who hoped someone would come through, who still believed the world was fair. Another snip, and another. Each cut was a quiet scream of fear, of courage, of love too deep to name. By the time she dropped the scissors, her reflection was different. Her jaw looked harder, her eyes more defiant. The hoodie now swallowed her shoulders in a way that erased the past. Outside, the world still spun. Cars honked, people shouted, the sun kept burning like nothing had changed. But inside that cracked bedroom mirror, someone new had risen. Not quite a boy, not just a girl, a fighter, and she was going after that 100 million naira. Back at the hospital room, the morning light filled the room and Chima looked better. Then the door opened. Dee stepped in, her hoodie zipped up, a small duffel bag on her shoulder. Her hair was now shaved low. Chima blinked in surprise. Wait, what happened to your hair? Ha, you look like Burna Boy's backup singer. Dee laughed. I know, right? I'm about to drop a mixtape. They both laughed, but Chima wanted to know the reason why she cut off her hair. She sat beside him, smiling nervously. Chima, I have something to tell you. Please promise me you will not be angry. Chima looks at her and, you this girl, you don't come again. What is it? I promise I will not be angry. Remember that coding contest I told you about? Dee asked. Yes, I remember. You never made me forget it. The all boys coding competition that the grand prize is 100 million naira. Yes, what about it? And with the look on Dee's face, Chima could understand the whole story. You cut off your hair to go to the competition that is for all boys, Dee. You might get into trouble. Please don't do this. I know you're trying to do this for me, but please don't do this. If you get caught, I will be thinking of something else, not just my health. Dee shrugged and told her brother, I know you care about me. I know, and I do appreciate it. But I already have everything on plan. Someone is going to be helping me set it up, so it's going to look very legal. All I have to do is just to pretend I'm a boy and show them my skill. Chima, this is the only way I know how to fight. I have tried everything. I have called everyone. Let's give this opportunity a chance. Chima knew this was a tough decision to make, but he trusted Dee, and so he gave her his support. And so he asked, so what are you going to do now? What's the next step? Dee was delightful. Having her brother by her side was more than a blessing. I submitted my application and I just got an email that I made the top 20 out of hundreds of applicants. Chima's jaw dropped. What? Dee, that's crazy. They are flying us to Lagos. 3 weeks of intensive competition. If I win, your treatment is covered. Everything. And we even have some more to even start up our lives as well. Chima looked at her, proud and amazed. You're doing all of this for me? She nodded. You're fighting with your body. Chima, let me fight with my code. This is how I know how to fight. At the airport, Dee moved like the noise around her couldn't touch her. Her hoodie was up, shadowing her face, and her suitcase rolled quietly behind her. One of those old ones with a shaky wheel that studded on every uneven tile. She had packed in a hurry her brother's clothes, her laptop, charger, energy bars, the tiny notebook where she scrabbled codes like spells. She was traveling light, but her heart was anything but light. With every step, her chest ached, not from doubt, but from the weight of leaving everything familiar behind. Her brother's pale face in the hospital bed flashed in her mind. The smell of antiseptic, the way his fingers twitched when she whispered, "Goodbye." This wasn't a dream. It wasn't a plan. It was a gamble, a desperate, deliberate one. She wasn't sure what scared her more, the idea of failing or the idea that she might actually win and then have to face what comes after. But none of that mattered now. She didn't look back. She was stepping into the only fight she had left, to give her brother a second chance, using the only weapon she knew how to wield: coding. A new arena, a new identity, a roommate who asks too many questions. She didn't come to make friends. She came to disguise and to win. Episode 2. The arena, the disguise, and the roommate. Catch you on the next episode. If you haven't subscribed to this channel, please do so. Like, comment, and share to your loved ones. I love you all.